Greetings everybody, Ryan with Inglewood Instruments here. I'm making this video because the instruments that I've created are not ukuleles, and I keep getting people over on, specifically on Facebook comments I think, but sometimes on Instagram, that are like, well, isn't it a ukulele? I think some of them might be trying to mess with me, but it doesn't work. So I wanted to say why it's not a ukulele and why it's nearly a ukulele, because I think it's fair to say certain instruments are like other instruments, right? So here's a ukulele that I picked up at Sam Ash, RIP, because it was going out of business. So this one is a tenor, and the way the ukulele works is that it's strung similar to a guitar, and the top four strings are the same notes as the guitar, and in fact the same intervals. Same notes as in like same intervals, not the exact same notes. So if you play a D on a guitar, top three strings, you're gonna get a D shape here that works the same on the ukulele. But the difference here is that the low string, the one on the very bottom here, is actually higher than all the two middle strings, and it's just slightly lower than the actual high string. So, you know, that's a little confusing for me. I'm used to being able to do this and get the low note down on the bottom here. So that's this tenor one. The reason I made this video today is because over the weekend, my buddy Matt had this, and he was walking through the hallways with this thing. I guess he'd been leading kid music or something, and I was like, what is that? And he said, oh man, take it home. So now, I don't know if he tuned it to be different than a regular ukulele, but this is a baritone ukulele, and it is tuned like the top four strings of the guitar, the higher four strings, with that bottom note still being a low note. So if you play a D, the way you would on the guitar, if you're guitar players, there you go, you got a D chord. Now this particular one is a little bit more warm and worn in, and I don't know, I just loved it. Probably seen better days though. It seems like it's maybe a little bit more roughshod. A few characteristics of the ukuleles that I've seen are that they're way deep. This has got to be at least 3 inches deep. I mean, it's the size of an acoustic guitar. The tenor one is similarly deep. So those are a couple of the really general things. Let's jump over to my instruments so we can see how they compare. So this is the deluxe version of a Cumberland river dulcimer. It's in the family of river guitars. I don't feel like we need to spend a lot of time on this. I just wanted to point it out because A, I love it, and B, it's not the same. So this is tuned D-A-D, whereas those are tuned, you know, in fourths and thirds. This is tuned root 5 octave. Totally different, and the fretting is different. So it's fretted to be in one key. And so it's not the same at all. Jump over to the guitar version, but you can see it's fretted to be in all the notes are here, as opposed to the dulcimer version that's missing some. So this is where I think a lot of people on the internet have said, like, isn't that just a tenor or baritone ukulele? And the answer is no, still, because it's got the high string here, doubled high string. And it's only 3 strings when you think about it. It's only the 3 strings. The high string is doubled, so it's really functional of only 3 strings there. So if you play a D chord, if you're used to guitar, that's the D chord that you're used to. Just like with the ukulele, it comes out sounding the same. Got a different register too, a different sound, because it's got guitar strings on it. It isn't nearly as deep, so you can see this particular one's about 1.5 inches deep. So you can see it's like a different animal entirely in the way that it's shaped and the way it's balanced. It's actually a much more dense piece of wood and instrument and all. I don't know how they make those exactly because I don't make them, but these are a little bit more material to them, a little bit heftier. It's got a longer scale length, I believe. Let's see here. So we've got, this is our scale length if I hold it up to the camera. Probably not scientific whatsoever. Maybe pretty similar. I did not look at baritones when I was designing these. I don't know, I feel like I've rambled on long enough about this, but it's something that came up, I don't know, a dozen times on previous posts and stuff like that. So If you have questions or thoughts about this, comments, I have a feeling by saying ukulele, there's probably a mass of people who are really into ukuleles that are going to tell me where I'm wrong. That's fine. I'm okay to be wrong because I don't really know a ton about them, but I wanted to make sure that there was at least a side-by-side so that you could be informed about it, so that you could see what you think, so that if you're interested in buying one, you can kind of have a little bit more knowledge, I guess, right? We're here for knowledge. Okay, have a great one.